Howdy. Today, we will be taking a look at FansToys Inquisitor. And, you know, the more I look at this figure, the more I think he kinda looks like Scourge from the Transformers the movie. But that's probably just a coincidence. This figure comes with 4 alternate face sculpts, 1 blaster, 1 stand attachment for vehicle mode, and a mini robot companion. To swap the face, all you have to do is pull upwards on the top of the head, pull the face out of the top of the head, and replace it with one of the alternate face sculpts. Then swivel the top of the head back into position. In his robot mode, Inquisitor is nothing short of gorgeous. Almost the entire figure is covered from top to bottom in amazing metallic blue paints. There are also some incredible metallic red details, and those fingernails. Wow, those fingernails. They're covered in an incredibly glossy pink. I could count on one hand the parts of this figure, the individual parts that are unpainted. It's absolutely incredible. The articulation on the figure is also pretty good. There are some spots that I wish had a little bit more articulation, like the feet. Because of the way the transformation is designed, they don't tilt forward at all. However, otherwise, the articulation is really good. I think the mini robot companion is also pretty nice. It is also covered top to bottom in paint, although not in such a stunning blue as Inquisitor is. However, there is a problem. The mini robot companion turns into a blaster that actually can't be held by Inquisitor. I think it's the biggest issue with this figure by far, and a pretty big oversight on FansToys' end. Here's how FansToys Inquisitor scales with Deluxe Class Deep Cover, Voyager Class Sweep, and Leader Class Grimlock. Here's how FansToys Inquisitor scales with FansToys Parkour, FansToys Jive, and Takara Tomy Masterpiece Megatron. Here's how FansToys Inquisitor scales with HasLab Unicron. In his vehicle mode, Inquisitor is I don't know what this is supposed to be. Let's check the tech specs card. Inquisitor, anthropomorphic. Oh, there it is. Futuristic spacecraft. Well, yeah, I guess it's futuristic and could be a spacecraft. In vehicle mode, Inquisitor is very smooth. Again, that paint that I keep gushing about shows very well in this mode, although you can see some paint matching issues. However, I think the important thing about this mode is just how smooth and cohesive it is. It's very satisfying to hold, and I think they did a great job executing on this futuristic spacecraft, despite the figure essentially being a shell former. Now, I think FansToys did a very good job executing this figure in a way that doesn't make it feel like a shell former, and so I think they deserve some credit for that. However, one of the big issues with this mode is, once again, the mini robot companion. This one is quite puzzling. This figure comes with a stand attachment designed for FansToys stand, and so you can slot it in using the tab on the bottom. Also, using this included stand attachment, you can attach the mini robot, except by attaching the mini robot, you prevent it from being able to be attached to the stand. In which case, you can rotate the mini robot around and have it be a rear-facing gun, but that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Another thing that initially doesn't make a whole lot of sense is the fact that you can transform the head in this vehicle mode. If you want to watch the transformation, you can slow down this part of the video. It's a review, not a pico. But one of the weird things about this figure is that you can rotate the head around so that it shows in vehicle mode. I'm not entirely sure what the intended purpose of this is, but it's a thing that you can do if you want to do it. And here is how it looks in its final head shown in vehicle mode, in case that interests you. Here's how FansToys Inquisitor scales with Deluxe Class Deep Cover, Voyager Class Artfire, and Leader Class Laser Optimus Prime. Here's how FansToys Inquisitor scales with Voyager Class Sweep and FansToys Thomas. I hope you've enjoyed this brief look at FansToys Inquisitor. If there are any other figures you'd like me to take a look at next, leave a comment down below. And as always, I'm Leo, reminding you that plastic toys don't belong in plastic prisons. See you next time. Here's how FansToys Inquisitor scales with FansToys Parkour, FansToys... Wait, is his logo gray? What? It's gray. What? It's purple now? Okay.